Triath Prevails. It's a YouTube channel for those of you who want gratuitous numbers of wins. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Triath Prevails. Pardon that cough in the middle of that intro. Whew, it's rough on the voice, folks, doing that voice. So, doing 3v3 offensive teams video. There'll be a defensive teams video as well that'll be released at the exact same time as this. You can find the link to that one in the video description, or wait to the end of the video to get a link directly to it. This is an insane set, and I would highly recommend you pay attention to the things I'm suggesting and the explanations I'm offering, because you're most likely going to mess things up if you just look and don't listen. There's also going to be a smaller account video for those of you who have smaller accounts and want something maybe a little more down to earth, because I'm using my main account, showing all of the crazy relics and everything that this account can use and everything, and I have all the teams, all the characters, etc. So this one will be the one for the smaller accounts, and I always do that. It's a longer form video. It'll be released the day after I release these ones. You can see this one is not the thumbnail for it. It's from May, but I always do that video as a labor of love for the people with smaller accounts. Now, we did update the Datacron sheet. We, as in I did. No one helps me, folks. Some people did. Actually, huge shout out to Tomford, who I was able to pick his brain for a while recently. Had a lot of good things and ideas to say. He helped me tremendously. And as a result, folks, the infographic for set 16 has changed. This isn't just his ideas, but we did swap things out. You guys can check it out right now. Specifically, is not the time to tell you all the madness that's transpired. We'll discuss a lot of that in the actual video. So, huge shout out to my patrons. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for your support, guys. I couldn't do this without you. And if you want to support this channel for free, folks, all you gotta do is hit that thumbs up button, like, subscribe, comment. Let's mount the algorithm. Just kidding. Only if you want to cough. Don't talk like this unless you want to cough, folks. Let's let's get going, folks. Offensive teams. Here we go. Let's get going. So, here's the big thing, guys. This new set doesn't have anything that looks immediately just crazy and possibly overpowered, like a lot of the other stuff, like the last Datacron set, the set 15, so there's millions of really strong squads. There's not anything that I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know how we beat that. Maybe something like that'll occur, but I haven't found it yet. I haven't seen anything conclusive. And so the question is, how are we going to beat the pre-existing teams that are already crazy strong? And we have to balance our Galactic Legends. And so I doubt that I'm going to just only end up with 2 Galactic Legends on defense or on offense, but we're probably going to have most of our GLs on defense and then try to do off-meta stuff, because there's some really interesting combos on how to tackle some of these Galactic Legends and stuff. We're not talking about defense as much, but I would say most likely if I had to add one more Galactic Legend, it would probably be Supreme Leader Kylo, just so then we have Kylo and Kenobi who can beat everything. Yes, they're the best teams on defense as well, but if we can't get through their defense, then what's the point, right, folks? So the big thing is, though, if you have to split and choose between Supreme Leader Kylo and the Kenobi and Padme team, I would choose to have Kenobi on offense, because you can split Padme off and have her do her own thing, and have Kenobi go off and, dominate on his own, doing other things. Like, you can split them up. It's nice. The Supreme Leader Kylo team is kind of just like all or nothing, right? So, anyways, Sith the Eternal Emperor, mostly useless for everything except for killing, except for killing the teams that... they're good. I'm sure they're good. He doesn't kill Galactic Legends, usually. Though, Jedi Master Luke team, he might be invaluable against that. We'll have to see. So, the Kenobi team, these two teams, pretty straightforward, folks. the Inquisition team. So this is another set 15 team. Pretty soon we're gonna jump into the madness of this Datacron set. And so the Inquisition, I'm keeping up for offense because Malgus just kills them, frankly. He does a good job for the most part. And unless you have a severe mismatch and your opponent has a really bad Malgus and you have a really badass Relic 9 Inquisition squad, it's a huge mismatch. So real quick, folks, here's the thing that I want to point out. I want to show you two different Datacrons that we're going to be focusing on here. There's a lot that we could be focusing on. The biggest ones we're going to be focusing on today, though, folks, are the support level 6. This one is whenever a support character inflicts a debuff on an enemy, all the allies get some kind of boost, okay? So attackers gain 10% crit damage. Healers, who cares? Supports get 10% potency. That only matters in a couple cases, but those cases are really cool. And then tanks, they get 5% defense. And then whenever they do stuff, like they're also putting out buff immunity, and they're dispelling tenacity up, and they're reducing tenacity from all of the characters. It's just such a madness. Like this one is really good, so we want that one. Of course we want that one. It's really cool. The other one we want to look at, guys, are the attackers. The attackers, when they critically hit, they attack again. And if they don't attack again, they gain 10% defense pen stacking. And then whenever they attack out of turn, it deals bonus true damage. So if you call those guys to assist. So like Chewbacca is, as an attacker, is going to be doing 2 instances of true damage every time. And then he's going to attack again if he crit. It's just going to be very challenging to wrap our minds around it, guys. I suspect all of our cell phones will just explode because of the strain of trying to bear the burden here, folks. So, all right. That started the Traya team. So last season we used Traya to kill Gungans. And this season maybe we'll do that. It's still a really good Gungan cron and everything. But this team is also crazy good for a lot of reasons because of that dynamic, folks. Remember that support cron, right? If you get a support cron for this, it doesn't really, like, the Nihilist one is fine, that's cool, the level 9 is fine. I'll say this, folks, right now I would not recommend focusing on many or any level 9s. Just get tons of level 6s. Like, go to level 6, maybe take them to level 9 so it's locked in which set you're in, but then focus level 6s. That's the true power of this set. And the Traya one, you cause so many debuffs. Traya is a support. You can't really see that because the way I've done the screen, but she's a support. Nihilus is a support. I'm just flipping through here so you guys can't see anything. But Savage is an attacker. He's going to be ramping his crit damage just so insanely fast, folks, because the support characters are causing debuffs, and then so they get a bunch of potency, which doesn't really affect them that much other than causing more debuffs, I guess. But then Savage is going to get 10% crit damage every single time you cause a debuff, which is just going to escalate very, very quickly and poorly for your opponent. So this team is great for defense or offense. I would expect this team is just going to get nuked by a Galactic Legend if you put it on defense, which is probably a fair trade. It's going to be a challenging team to beat. Okay, so now, do you have Night Troopers? Almost none of you do. I do. But if you don't have Night Trooper, then keep this squad for offense. Dark Trooper Moff Gideon is just going to get destroyed by things like Adrad and all sorts of other things. If you have Night Trooper, probably put him on defense because it's going to be obnoxious as hell to deal with, and I don't know who can actually beat it. It's going to be crazy. But this team will be able to beat things like Qui-Gon Jinn teams. And maybe that's it. Now, there's always a use for it. Well, maybe not always. We have way more offensive teams than defensive teams, frankly. Folks, that's just how it is this season. That's how it always is. Unfortunate, but true. And So yeah, Moff Gideon, Scout Trooper, he killed Qui-Gon teams. I'm sure people are still going to be trying to split their Keller and Beck squads. If you want to be able to cause no revives, and you can take out Moff Gideon and put Death Trooper in instead for that death mark. Kind of nice, little less punch, but I mean he still does punch. It's not quite as good of a squad as all. So Darth Bane diminished this time, folks. We know that Darth Bane he doesn't have his datacron. He's not gonna kill Rey. That's basically what he's not gonna kill. Maybe not Supreme Leader Kylo either. And the big question is, can he kill the Queen Amidala with the Lover Boys? Especially because most people who take this game super seriously will have farmed Kenobi by now, Padawan, Obi-Wan, and they'll have Queen Amidala with them, and who knows what third will be there, because Qui-Gon is still not farmable, even though Obi-Wan is just here. He's like most people have him at Relic 7 at this point. The people who are end game and taking it very seriously, I should make sure to point out. But Bane hopefully will still kill we were killing them at a decent rate in 3v3. Hopefully they'll continue to do so, even though he doesn't have his datacron. I think he'll still be fine, but it's not totally sure. Otherwise, he'll kill Leia teams that you come across. He'll kill... That's about it. That's all. No, he kills basically everything, except for maybe the top tier. Like, you don't probably want to mess with Kenobi that much, unless you put the right Sith on there so the cat can kill the ad. Instead of Darth Bane, etc. He's diminished, but man, he's not going anywhere. He is a free win if you choose the right team. Now, we talked about this. Malgus wants grit on offense because it turns his protection into health, which in turn causes more damage, right? So that's why you want it on offense. If you want to put him on defense, then you want to have the tank words level 3, or level 6, which is tougher to get. You do want the tanks revive ability, which is really nice because you have 2 really high-end tanks, top dollar high-end tanks, and this team will kill. Man, it kills all this stuff. So people will still be putting Malicos down on defense with Seer. This team will destroy that. It'll destroy Inquisition. It'll take down the Dark Trooper Moff Gideon team that people will inadvisably set. Well, I guess one curious thing. I wonder if Malgus will be able to beat Dark Trooper Moff Gideon with the weird Night Trooper team. I have no idea. That Night Trooper team looks so strong with the datacron and everything. Really interested to see how that goes, folks. But yeah, I'm excited to see what Malgus. He just destroys everything, man. The grit level 3 is nearly level 6. You can also, honestly, guys, you can put on the new or the old sets 15, and it's all right, guys. A lot of these teams, no one's gonna have it all. All right, no one's gonna have everything. There are already people who have 30 level 9s. They don't have everything. They can't have everything that they want. It's insane. This set is so stupid, folks. And so, will this team end up killing all the stuff? Yeah, it probably, man. But no, you could probably... Well, this one might be a team that we just use the old datacron set because you get plus 45% extra health. That's not too bad. Maybe you can do better with the set like this, but initially, early on, this is probably a good target for just a set 15. Now, oh my gosh, okay guys, so Aphra is a support. 000 is a support. You can try for the level 9 on 000, but the most important part is the level 6 support, and that's because as you give them debuffs, which Aphra hands out a lot of debuffs, and so does 000, you're going to gain potency, and then as you're gaining potency, you're handing out offense to the rest of your team. And it's just going to escalate really quickly. It's going to be, especially in 5s, it's going to be bananas. But even in 3s, I think she's going to ramp really hard, and she's going to, it might take a little bit, I guess, but man, I'm I'm super intrigued to see what Aphra can do with some of these level 6, with the special level 6. It's going to be crazy. Okay, so do you have, guys, the 1 level 9, if you can get it, I think the 1 level 9 that you want, as of right now, is Sabine's. It's like she just takes a turn every single time the opponent takes a turn. It is obnoxious, and she has some really good abilities to go alongside it, guys. She has her rolling thermals that give exposes to everyone, and she has the armor shred that she can do every other time. She almost never has to take basics, but when she does, she still attacks. She'll attack like 8 times because she's gonna, as long as she crits. And if she doesn't crit, then she's gaining a ton of armor pen, and it's just so not like you almost don't need her with Bo-Katan, but if you do have her, that's initially where I'm going to be placing her, is with Bo-Katan Mandalore. They'll be killing all kinds of cool stuff, I'm sure of it, folks. If not, Paz is a very acceptable addition, or replacement, I don't know what word to go with that, but for Bo-Katan, eventually we may find Sabine a home. She might not need to be with Bo-Katan, but Bo-Katan does support her very well in a lot of the things she was going to be doing, taking a frenetic number of turns, so not too worried. This is going to be the most fun squad, folks. I just tested her with Rey, shout out to Focus for the idea, and I used her with Rey against a Kenobi squad with Padme, with the Cron. Just destroyed it, man. Even though I played it really poorly. It was pretty awesome. Okay, so here's a weird thing. Dash is handing out crit damage percent, which normally I'm like, okay, that's cool to offense, to attackers, sorry. And so he does his AoE, causes all these debuffs, and you're like, yes, we're buffing someone really awesome. But you're not really buffing anyone in reality. Because, like, Beskar Mando would be a great target for that, but Beskar Mando doesn't do crit damage, really. Like, he uses his little knife, he's like, yeah. He uses, like, that facial expression, too. It's not pretty, but it's behind a mask, and you can't even notice it if you're watching him, so it's okay. And the thing is, Dash doesn't buff. Like, there's no one else I want to put with Dash that are scoundrels. Like, I mean, I guess in 5s, like, buffing Han and Chewie might be pretty cool. But in 3s, I don't know. For right now, like, Hondo's a support as well, so you can use a support Cron. You could use a Vader Chewie Cron. You could just use, like, the thick Cron. We'll see what this team does. You can start taking out, like, Jedi Master Luke teams again, I guess. Just all the madness that's going to happen. This is going to be a nice team. I've always liked Hondo's ability to just lock one person up. Like, hey, you can't function. And they're like, you're right. I couldn't function before this. I'm something. I was going to say something mean, but I decided not to. Now, here's a weird split, guys. I don't know what's going to... So you guys know that lately I've been using a Seer team with Starkiller and Malicos. That's been the team that I've been using lately. That's how you kill Rey. But the new Reys are not going to be probably as crazy strong as the old Reys, because there's not the crazy resistance Cron, all of that may change. We may end up needing Starkiller, but for now, here's the crazy thing, folks. Once Darth Vader takes his turn with the attacker level 6, every time he attacks, he's going to, if he does a crit, then he's going to attack again. And Starkiller is going to assist, and then he's going to assist the second time the Darth Vader goes. And then, hold on, let me make sure that works that way. 1 second. I'm glad I looked it up. So, Darth Vader will hit, and then he'll hit again. And then Starkiller will assist one of those times. Or he'll assist both times, I think. And then he'll hit a second time once in that, I think. So he'll hit 3 times. Darth Vader will hit 2 times for every time, and then Starkiller will just, even in 3s, I think he's gonna get his ultimate really, really quickly. If Darth Vader just does Merciless Massacre and 3 basics, and so Well, probably that kills Rey. I'm guessing. Like, Rey doesn't have that revive anymore. So, maybe Starkiller is just fine with Darth Vader, frankly. And then, if that's the case, then we have Seer with Malicos that we can turn loose on someone, which also sounds very appealing to me. I wouldn't want to be the person we turned Malicos loose on. That's for damn sure. But, okay. Yeah, we'll see what these splits end up being. Come watch me on Twitch, guys. We'll be adapting and adjusting as we go along. The link is in the video description. It's free to watch. It's a good time, folks. Now, Bounty Hunters, man, I just keep feeling so bummed out about them. I wish that they would update them. I wish that they hadn't updated the stupid thumbnail. They look so dumb, folks. Like, you can't even see Embo. Like, who is that? It's just it's like a mushroom. It's so weird. Just so grossed out by it, guys. But one thing to keep in mind, folks, everyone's gonna be facing Lord Vaders with the damage over time crons, which gives them a bunch of bonus protection. It's not bonus protection though, it's actually protection up, which is something that's dispellable. Now, if it's just a lone Lord Vader, you can clean it up by using Embo, who has the dispel on basic, which is nice, because Lord Vader will have a trillion protection ups. You can't do enough damage between Fennec and Grief without some kind of help, and so Embo is the perfect third to be able to do that against that particular build. Yes, it's just a cleanup, and I don't love to plan cleanups, but it's necessary sometimes, folks. Lord Vader is not nearly as bad as people like to give him the crap for. Adrad, he's still good, man. I don't know what else to say. I don't know if he probably doesn't warrant a level 6, frankly. There's so many teams that want level 6s and they want to do crazy stuff. But, I mean, if he does have a level 6, then he's going to, as a special, it's not a special, it says special on here, but as a support, he's giving Jin a bunch of crit damage. Baze is getting a bunch of defense, and you're able to ramp your damage pretty nicely. And Adrad gets a bunch of potency. Lucky fish. Now, the Jedi, it just depends on who's we're gonna need. Like, we could put Hoda here is the 5th, or Basti. There's a lot of different characters here, guys. Killing teams like Malgus and like Dash with Hondo. Teams that are like a really solid B+ on defense, probably. It's pretty versatile. Sometimes you throw like the armor in there to be able to kill like a really strong Supreme Leader Kylo, though the current Kylo teams are probably a little bit outside of Jedi Knight Revan's range. It's nice to keep all these like really top dollar Jedi kind of free floating on offense, because they can be gamed against on defense, but on offense you can kind of plug and play as you need and fill whatever gaps you require to be filled. Awkward. I can't figure out this set for Night Sisters, guys. I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, just skip. Night Sisters are gonna still do well, but I don't. You're like just boosting their potency. Cool. Are you gonna be able to kill Jabba when there's Grit Cron out there for Jabba's teams? I don't know. I don't really think so. What are they gonna kill? Maybe like GG Stab teams. People are like, I don't know what to do with GG Stab, and people will be like, well, let's put them on defense. People talk like that in real life, guys. I've been there. It's crazy. It's awkward. But the people don't know what to do with the GG Stab team, and I think Night Sisters probably, if you have them well modded and you know what you're doing, you probably still beat them. I could be wrong. Go do it. Go forth and go do it and find out for me, please. Wampa. He's got a cron. He's got several versions, I think. I don't know. Go get his Datacron if you want, and if you can. It's so expensive, guys. I don't recommend it, but if you do, he's going to destroy some stuff. Like, you guys will see with that Saw Gerrera team. We'll see if he's going to be able to outrace against Saw or not. I think he's going to be really good if you can roll the right cron for him. Grievous. Hey, look at that. I didn't put mine on defense. Why not? Because I think my sisters probably beat it for pretty easy banners. I could be wrong. This might end up on defense pretty quickly, but this is a pretty good team, and you should probably do it, guys. For offense. And honestly, I don't know what it kills. But you have to think it's going to be okay on banners just because stat will be low. Like you'll drop one, but then B1, as long as it lives, will be able to keep Grievous all the way topped off. And you know, I would say that this team would be really good at killing, you know, B-level teams as well. I'm guessing we're not even going to use it on offense that much at the very top end. In the medium range, you know, teams like maybe like Adrad or Jedi. I'm just saying team. I'm just finding teams here and that I see and saying them out loud. Bounty Hunters, they probably beat those. They probably beat like Starkiller. No. But you get the gist. They probably killed the nerfed Admiral Trench guys. And now the Trench team, if you put Watt with them and you have the Datacron, which not everyone has all the stuff, guys. That no one can have all the stuff. It's just too much stuff. But if you have Trench on the ground with Watt on defense, every time you kill someone, then Watt just revives. He just takes a bonus turn and revives them, and it's super obnoxious. So Trench with Watt could be really annoying. Or you could put Watt with a team on defense that I'll tell you guys about in a little bit. And otherwise, that you'll see this team on defense a lot, though. People who are like, I'm just kind of used to putting it on defense because we had a Datacron for Trench for so long. You could use Grievous on this team, for instance. Just as a shout out, guys, if you can get an attacker level 6 for this Bando team, you're going to be attacking an obnoxious, just a totally obscene amount of times. Han is going to attack an extra time, and Chewbacca is going to attack one extra time. That's it. That's the full sum of how many times you're going to attack. It goes from reasonable to obscene over the course of 2 attacks. But seriously, you're going to be doing a lot of instances of damage, and like this team should be able to just shoot the hell out of like a B1, for instance, because Chewbacca will be doing 4 instances of damage every time he shoots, and Han will be doing, 3 instances? So, like 7. So, over half of B1's health just in one shot from Han. Like, one basic from Han. And it's just going to be, it'll be really interesting. Trench team, probably not going to use it on offense that much, folks, unless you can get one of the support ones. Remember, Trench is support, Newt is support, and then they can boost Jango like crazy. I don't know if this team warrants something like that. In 3s, you just, there's so many teams available, folks. I wouldn't want to put it on defense. Putting it on, maybe mid game, you could put it on defense. People still mess up. But, I mean, this team also probably loses to Wampa half the time. Now, EP Mara, if Starkiller's not hanging out with them, what are they doing? Whoever's with Lord Vader, a lot of times you're going to put Trench not Trench, Piet or Thrawn with Vader. And if that's the case, then put the other one with EP Mara. And then, I guess, go to town, have a very supportive time, because they're all supports. I don't know, they're like, hey, we have a ton of potency, we should use this somehow. Huh? See, they talk like that too, out of the corners of their mouths. It's an Empire thing, I think. The Iden team. She's an attacker, right? Yeah, okay. Don't mind that she's missing 2 mods, and oh, you can't see. Okay, good. Someone's like, oh, nice. She's missing 2 mods, but I've already signed up for Territory Wars, so that'll be fine, I'm sure. Hey, she gets Death Trooper and Stormtrooper back. That's kind of fun. And with an attacker cron, she probably destroys things. But everyone wants an attacker cron, so probably just gotta shut her down. Let's see. Bad Batch. These guys might actually want set 15, guys. Everyone wants set 16 for the most part, except for like the crazy Galactic Republic teams. Tech even has his own level 6. So this team will take down the mid-range stuff. I wouldn't be too surprised if this team was still able to take down like the GG Stap squads. I'm not really sure. I wouldn't be too surprised if also GG Stap just rung their bell as in killed them. That was a euphemism for death. Folks, ringing a bell. But this team, so there's always that team on defense that has triple Rex. Like it's Rex, and Captain Rex. That team is often on defense, and this will, at like a 75 to 80% rate, be, if you know what you're doing, be able to beat them, which is not perfect, of course, but it's an okay alternative, you know? You can gamble a little bit, and then you get a really cheap counter for it. Otherwise, this team mostly stays on the bench. Keller and Beck, you can call him Keller and Bench at this point, folks. Sorry, dude. Your Datacron is gone. Go play in Territory Wars where you belong, or in the Raid where you kind of belong, or on the bench in 3s where you belong. 5s we still have a place for you, though, bud. Don't you worry. General Veers with... So Piet's a busy man these days. He wants to be everywhere, including on defense with Gar and ISC. But they can... I mean, they have like a cool turn meter stuff. They'll be better in 5s, guys. I don't have huge high hopes for it. They do have good turn meter stuff, though. We'll probably get a little use out of them if Piet's not busy elsewhere. And then finally, folks, this is a really interesting one to me. Shock T with Clone Sergeant. I put Cody there. You could put whatever other clone you wanted. But, guys, if you put an attacking one, remember how the attacker level 6 lets you attack a second time? Remember the Clone Sergeant, what you guys can see here, the Clone Sergeant is able to, let me zoom it out just a little bit. Okay, so look at this. So if he deals physical damage to target enemy, and he gains 50% turn meter on a critical hit. If he does a second one, you guys can add 50% of 50% together. They add 100. They make 100. That's a perfect turn meter loop. Depending on what team we're facing, that could be really handy. And it could also go on another team, especially in 5s, where you have other attackers doing other attacking things, and he's just getting a crazy amount of turn meter. I'll be very interested to see. We'll watch his career with great interest. So that's it for offense teams, folks. Defense teams are gonna be so good, though. You'll see. You'll see. You'll pay. You'll see. You'll see. And I'll see you on the other side of the video. Go catch my defensive teams video if you haven't already, folks. I'm sure it's going to be okay. Take care, folks. Thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Xaereth prevails.